Daniel Cross sat inside interview room 7, tapping his fingers on the metal table. It was another long morning in the human expansion company, and he expected another normal candidate. The job was simple, an assistant technician for the colony station. Most people who applied were adults with basic training. Nothing unusual. Nothing exciting. But today felt strange. The lights in the hallway flickered twice, as if the building itself was nervous. Daniel noticed it but ignored it. The colony sometimes had power problems. Then he looked at the digital clock. The next applicant was already 5 minutes late. He sighed. Another no-show, he said to himself. Just then, the door opened with a soft hiss. Daniel looked up, expecting a grown alien or a human adult. But instead, a small alien girl stepped inside. She was tiny, maybe 10 or 11 years old. She had pale blue skin, large silver eyes, and a small glowing device hanging around her neck like a pendant. Her cloak looked old but clean. She walked slowly, holding a small tablet with both hands. For a moment, Daniel just stared. He had never seen a child, alien or human, walking into a job interview alone. The girl stopped in front of the chair and bowed her head politely. "Good morning," she said in perfect English. Her voice was soft but steady. Daniel blinked. Hello. Are you lost? This room is for job interviews." She shook her head. "I know. I am here for my mother's interview." Daniel frowned. "Your mother?" "She is sick," the girl said. "She could not come. So I came instead." Daniel almost laughed, thinking it was some kind of joke. "You came, instead of her. But this is a job interview. Only adults can apply." The girl looked at him with calm, silver eyes. "I know all the work rules. I studied them." She lifted her tablet. "I know all human regulations. I want to help my mother." Something about her confidence made Daniel sit up straighter. It didn't feel like childish pretending. There was something deeper in her eyes, something old, something intelligent. He tried to act professional. "Okay, why don't you sit down and tell me your name?" She nodded and sat with surprising grace. "My name is Lyra." Daniel typed the name into the system, but the computer made a strange buzzing noise. The screen flashed for a second as if confused. He frowned again. "That's odd," he murmured. "The system is reacting weirdly." Lyra tilted her head. "It happens when I am near human machines." Daniel froze. "Why?" "I do not know," she replied softly. "But I sense energy differently than humans." The lights flickered again. Daniel stared at the little alien girl. Something was very unusual about her. She was too calm. Too mature. Too aware. And the building sensors reacting to her made him uneasy. He tried asking a simple question. "Why did your mother apply for this job?" Lyra looked down for the first time. "Because we needed safety. Humans offer safe work. But now she is sick. And we are not safe anymore." "Not safe?" Daniel repeated. "What do you mean?" Lyra lifted her glowing pendant. The light inside pulsed like a heartbeat. "There is a problem in this building," she said. "Something is wrong with your energy core. I can feel it." Daniel felt a chill run down his spine. "How can you feel it?" he whispered. Lyra looked at him, and her voice changed, deep, almost haunting. "Because my kind can sense danger before humans. And today, the danger is very close." Daniel swallowed hard. The small girl seemed to sense things no human could. And she hadn't even started the interview yet. Then she leaned forward and said quietly. "My mother told me humans fear what they do not understand. But today, you must understand, or many humans will die." The room fell silent. And that was only the beginning. Daniel Cross stared at the small alien girl, Lyra, unable to speak. Her calm face, her strange glowing pendant, and her warning made his heart beat faster. He had interviewed hundreds of people in his life, but never someone like her. He finally cleared his throat. Lyra, what danger are you talking about? Lyra held the tablet in her small hands. Her silver eyes did not blink. Your power core is unstable, she said simply. It will break soon. Daniel tried to stay logical. The power core is checked every day. Engineers would know if something was wrong. They cannot sense energy like I do, Lyra replied. I felt it the moment I entered this building. It is leaking. Before Daniel could answer, his computer screen flashed bright red. A message appeared on the display. Warning, unknown energy signature detected near interview room 7. Daniel's mouth went dry. Lyra looked at the screen and then back at him. The building systems react to me. That is normal. Normal? Daniel repeated in disbelief. Machines react like that to you every time. Yes, she said simply. My species absorbs and releases energy differently. Daniel leaned back. He didn't know if he should believe her or call security. But something about her calm, honest voice made it hard to doubt. He asked, why didn't your mother tell us this? Why didn't she mention it when applying for the job? Lyra lowered her head. Humans fear what they do not understand, she said. If she told you, she would not get the job. Daniel could not deny that. Humans often feared strange alien abilities. Can you explain more? Daniel asked. What exactly is wrong with the power core? Lyra closed her eyes. Her pendant glowed brighter, pulsing. After a moment, she opened them again. The energy waves are out of balance, she said. They are rising too fast. Soon the pressure will be too much. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. How soon? 30 minutes, she answered quietly. Daniel stood up so fast that his chair scraped the floor. That's impossible. We would have alarms, warnings. You have warnings, Lyra said softly. You just do not understand them yet. As if proving her words, the overhead lights flickered again, longer this time. A deep humming sound vibrated through the walls. Lyra looked around. It has started. Daniel rubbed his forehead, panic rising. This was not part of his job. He was not trained for emergencies caused by alien children predicting energy disasters. He whispered, what do we do? Lyra blinked slowly. I can help. But it will not be easy. Daniel stared at her in shock. You can fix a power core. You're a child. She shook her head. I am my mother's daughter. My species is born with energy senses. I can calm the core if I reach its center. That's extremely dangerous, Daniel said. Even trained engineers wear full suits in the reactor room. I do not need a suit, Lyra replied. Energy does not burn me. Daniel shivered at the thought. Then Lyra added something that made him freeze. My mother came for this job because she knew the core was failing. She wanted to help humans. But now she is sick. Without me, there is no one left who can save you. Daniel felt like the air had turned heavy. A child, this small, soft-spoken alien girl, might be the only thing standing between life and death for everyone in the building. Suddenly, an alarm rang loud across the hallway. Alert, power core pressure rising. Daniel met Lyra's eyes. She stood up, steady and fearless. It is time, she said. Take me to the reactor. Daniel swallowed hard. For the first time in his life, he trusted a child more than any adult. He opened the door and whispered, follow me. And Lyra walked beside him, ready to face the truth hidden inside the heart of the human colony. Daniel and Lyra hurried through the long metal hallway. The alarm kept ringing, echoing through every corner of the building. Red emergency lights flashed again and again, making the entire station feel like it was breathing in panic. Humans were running everywhere. Engineers, officers, assistants, everyone moved with fear on their faces. Nobody understood what was happening. Nobody except the small alien girl walking calmly beside Daniel. Lyra walked with quiet steps, her eyes fixed forward. Her glowing pendant pulsed faster now, as if reacting to the rising danger. Daniel stopped at a security door. "This is the first checkpoint," he said. "Only authorized engineers can enter the reactor zone." Lyra looked up at him. "You are authorized," she said. "And I am with you." Daniel placed his hand on the scanner. The door opened with a heavy hiss. Heat rushed out, warm and sharp, like a warning. Lyra didn't flinch. They continued deeper into the restricted zone. The humming sound grew louder with each step. The walls vibrated softly, as if the building itself was shaking from inside. Daniel felt sweat on his forehead. "How bad is it now?" Lyra closed her eyes for a second, sensing the energy. Her voice was calm but serious. "The core is breaking faster. Humans cannot stop it now." Daniel swallowed. "Can you?" Lyra opened her eyes. "I can try. But if I fail..." She didn't finish the sentence. Daniel didn't ask for the rest. He already knew. They reached the final hallway leading to the core chamber. Two engineers stood outside, arguing loudly. "It's overloading," one shouted. "The pressure keeps rising." "No one can go inside now," the other yelled. "The heat would kill us." Daniel stepped forward. "Let us through." The engineers turned, shocked. "Daniel? What are you doing here? And who is this?" Before Daniel could explain, the lights flickered again, this time not slowly but violently. The floor shook. Somewhere deep in the building, metal groaned like a monster waking up. Lyra stepped past the engineers. They stared at her tiny figure. "This child," one engineer said. "You can't be serious." Lyra lifted her small hand, and the glowing pendant brightened with a soft blue light. "The core is crying," she said quietly. "You must let me in." Both engineers went silent. Something in her voice froze them. Something ancient. Something powerful. Daniel spoke firmly. "She knows what's happening. She can help." The engineers looked uncertain, but the alarm screamed again, louder than before. The floor shook harder. They stepped aside. Daniel placed his hand on the final security panel. The reinforced door slowly slid open, revealing the reactor chamber. The heat hit them immediately. The air shimmered. The core sat in the center of the room, a giant sphere of white-blue energy. But now it flickered wildly, its surface cracking with lightning-like lines. Small sparks shot out like angry stars. The energy felt unstable, angry, alive. Daniel covered his face. "It's worse than I imagined." But Lyra stepped forward without fear. The heat did not burn her skin. Her cloak fluttered as energy waves passed through her. She looked small against the massive, roaring power core. A child facing a beast. Daniel grabbed her shoulder. "Lyra, you don't have to do this." She turned to him with calm eyes. "Yes, I do. My mother would have done it. And now I must." Daniel shook his head. "But you're just." Lyra placed her hand on his arm. Her touch was warm, steady, almost comforting. "Humans see me as a child," she said softly. "But my species is different. We learn energy before we learn words. This is what I was born to do." Daniel felt his throat tighten. He had no words. Lyra stepped toward the core. The light from the huge sphere lit her small figure, making her look like a silhouette against a rising sun. She whispered. "If I fail, you will not survive." Then she walked into the heart of the reactor chamber. Daniel's heart pounded. He could only watch as the small alien girl approached the unstable core, ready to face a danger no human could even understand. The crisis had truly begun. The reactor chamber roared like a living storm. The unstable core pulsed with wild, uneven light, each burst stronger than the last. It was like a giant heart beating out of control, ready to explode at any moment. Daniel stood at the doorway, unable to move. His whole body shook with fear. But Lyra, the small alien girl, walked forward with calm steps, as if she was entering a quiet room instead of a deadly, overheating reactor. The bright blue glow from the core washed over her face, lighting her silver eyes. Her pendant pulsed faster, syncing with the energy around her. Daniel shouted, "Lyra! Stop! You'll get hurt." She didn't look back. "I cannot stop," she said. "There is no time." The engineers behind Daniel watched silently, their faces pale. None of them dared to enter the chamber. Even with special suits, the heat was too strong. But Lyra walked without fear, her cloak fluttering in the rising waves of energy. As she reached the safety railing near the core, the lights above her exploded in sparks. The floor trembled. The entire building seemed ready to break apart. Lyra placed one hand on the railing and looked at the unstable core. "It is in pain," she whispered. "It is calling for help." Daniel didn't understand, but he knew this girl was seeing things humans could not. She lifted her glowing pendant with both hands. The small crystal inside it shined brighter and brighter until it was almost blinding. Then she stepped past the railing. "Lyra!" Daniel screamed. But it was too late. She walked straight toward the core. Heat waved around her, bending the air. The energy sphere crackled like lightning. A loud, deep hum filled the room, vibrating through Daniel's bones. Lyra raised both arms slowly. Her pendant glowed with intense white-blue light. She closed her eyes. And then she touched the core. The moment her small hand met the unstable energy, a burst of blinding light filled the chamber. Daniel shielded his eyes. A roaring sound like a thunderstorm echoed through the room. The engineers gasped. Lyra's feet slid backward from the force, but she held on, her fingers pressed to the glowing surface. Blue lightning wrapped around her arms, climbing up her shoulders. Her cloak burned away in the heat, falling to ashes. Her skin glowed faintly, as if light was moving through her like water. She cried out in pain, but she did not step back. Daniel took a desperate step forward. "Lyra! Let go. It's too much." But she shook her head violently. "If I let go, the core will explode." The humming grew louder and louder. Her pendant cracked as it absorbed more power. The crystal inside flickered wildly. Lyra pushed her other hand onto the core, using all her strength. Her small body trembled like a leaf in a storm. But she kept going. Daniel felt tears in his eyes. "You don't have to die for us." Lyra smiled weakly. "Humans and my kind, we are both alive under the same sky. If one falls, the sky breaks." Slowly, painfully, the wild lightning around the core began to calm. The bright cracks across its surface softened. The roar of energy changed into a softer hum. Lyra was pulling the unstable energy into herself, absorbing it like a shield. The glowing sphere finally steadied, turning smooth and calm once more. The reactor stabilized. The building stopped shaking. The alarms fell silent. Daniel could hardly believe it. She had done it. Lyra gasped and stumbled backward, her legs shaking. The pendant around her neck shattered completely, falling to pieces. Daniel rushed forward, catching her before she collapsed on the floor. Her voice was faint. "I did it, for my mother, and for the humans." Her eyes slowly closed. Daniel held her tightly, whispering, "You saved us, all of us." Behind him, the engineers watched in stunned silence. No human could have done what this little alien child had just done. No human would forget her bravery. Daniel carried Lyra out of the reactor chamber, his heart beating fast. Her small body felt weightless in his arms, like she had given all her strength to save the building. Engineers rushed forward, guiding him through the emergency hallway and into the medical room. Doctors gathered quickly. They placed Lyra on a soft white bed and checked her pulse, her breathing, her temperature. Machines beeped and clicked. Blue light scanned her body from head to toe. Daniel stood beside the bed, refusing to leave. One doctor looked up. "She's stable," he said. "Weak, but alive." Daniel let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. His legs almost gave out. He grabbed the side of the bed and whispered, "Thank you, thank you." Lyra's face was calm, peaceful. Her skin no longer glowed. Without her pendant, she looked even smaller, even younger. But Daniel knew, this tiny girl had more courage than anyone he had ever met. Minutes turned into an hour. Engineers confirmed the power core was stable again. Officers sent messages across the building, "Crisis over. Everyone safe." Humans cheered. The panic faded. But Daniel stayed with Lyra, waiting for her to wake up. Finally, after a long still moment, her fingers moved. Her eyes opened slowly. "Daniel," she whispered. He smiled with relief. "I'm right here." "You did it, Lyra. You saved everyone." She looked confused at first, then remembered the reactor. Her silver eyes softened. "Good, humans are safe." Before Daniel could speak again, the medical room door opened. A tall alien woman entered, blue skin like Lyra's, but with older, wiser eyes. She wore simple clothes and walked with a slight tremble, as if recovering from weakness. Daniel recognized her immediately. Lyra's mother. She rushed to her daughter's side and held her gently. Her voice broke. "My child, my brave child." Lyra smiled weakly. "Mother, you are better." Her mother nodded. "Because you gave me hope to fight my sickness." She turned to Daniel and bowed her head deeply. "Thank you for protecting her." Daniel shook his head. "I didn't protect her. She protected us." Lyra's mother looked at him with warm eyes. "Humans and my people misunderstand each other often. But today, you trusted her. And because of that, we all survived." Daniel felt embarrassed, but also proud. She earned that trust. She did something no human could ever do. An officer entered the room then, holding a digital tablet. He cleared his throat respectfully. "Daniel Cross. The directors want to offer Lyra and her mother something." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" The officer smiled and handed the tablet to Lyra's mother. "Permanent residence. Full protection. And a job, not for you, but for both of you. The company wants you to join the energy team." Lyra's mother covered her mouth, shocked. We are accepted here." "Not just accepted," the officer said. "You are honored." Daniel turned to Lyra. "This all happened because you came for your mother's interview." Lyra smiled softly. Her voice was weak but steady. "My mother told me humans fear what they do not understand, but now humans understand us." Daniel nodded. "Yes. Because of you." A warm silence filled the room. Lyra's mother held her daughter's hand, and Daniel stood beside them, knowing he had witnessed something that would change the colony forever. Outside, the humans gathered in the main hall, waiting to see the child who saved them. They wanted to thank her, honor her, welcome her. A new beginning had arrived, not just for Lyra and her mother, but for humans and aliens together. And as Lyra sat up slowly, Daniel smiled at her and said softly, "Come on, hero, they're waiting for you."